Hi everybody. Thank you for being here. For still coming back. Proud of you. We can do this. So I took some time off. I celebrated my birthday. I hope all of you are well. I wanted to give you guys a little time to catch up. Maybe take the time to really get it in there, because it isn't stopping. So before I get started, I just want to put out a prayer there. I've been channeling messages all day. For those of you who are suffering depression right now, I feel you, I see you, I honor you. Depression is all of those shadows burdening us and weighing us down that we are taking from others that we never agreed to in the first place. Depression, I've been through so much depression and living through it and starting this journey from Easter. You can get through it. You need to overcome it yourself. It will never walk away. You have to find that true divination within. So depression, anxiety, I'm here for you, and you have this. And you're choosing to suffer. You are choosing to suffer, to stay in that depression. You are choosing to suffer, to stay in that anxiety, that silent protest. You are choosing to let something else control you. Which, frankly, I've had enough of that. I am so far beyond having enough of that. I'm enough of the world having it, and that is why I'm enough of you having it. So, I love you. It's time to accept yourself. If you're still here, and you're still hanging on. All right, let's get started. Amen. Thank you, Jehovah. And I'm going to pick right back up where I left off. My last video explained the link between me and that extra life cycle, which turned out to be Nova. So now, the only thing that was missing for me in that full reproductive cycle of 2, to make this all full circle, was the link to the end of it, after Nova, to God and me, to bring it all full circle. I was missing that. Little did I even think, because, the whole topic of number 23 and the terrorizing negative obsession for it, that's how my journey started. Jim Carrey's movie totally can relate to that, but I powered through. I powered through that possession that I had to therefore power through to get to this point that I'm at now. And it can be done. So to get to this point, to have the spiritual journey started, I had to reflect back, okay, who was the first person that brought me into this whole entire journey? Who was the first thing besides God and myself, of course, but who was it that really got me to all of this? And it was Collatz. Collatz conjecture was the first thing I started, wasn't it? So I decided to go back and double check into Collatz, because all of the numerology that I did between Ryman, Einstein, me, God, and Nova, I never did with Collatz, because that obsession of number 23 positively also took off, which it's so true, because in every single one of my videos, I have to choose what I'm not putting in. There is so much complexity to it that I even get caught up in my own video lesson plan, because yeah, I need to share this, which I'll talk about it later, but it's not so important right now in the connection to explain this. But the more complex that it goes, the more that number 23 positive obsession goes in my intellectual cycle, and I'm just going off onto the next thing and going off onto the next thing, which is exactly how Bernard Ryman, Albert Einstein, and me all started in this whole entire journey since the very first video even. So now I'm going to show you where Collatz comes into play, how the whole thing works again with the whole entire full cycle. So let's get started. So we're going to say Collatz is LC. Okay, hopefully you guys can see this. If you can't, let me know. I'm still getting used to this whole new whiteboard thing because it's so much more helpful. Thank you, Jason. But if the glare is horrible in the video and you guys can't see it, please let me know. I will be happy to move it around and make it work. My table is up in between my little airline seat here, so I'm trying, y'all, because I love ya. So Collatz is LC. We're gonna do Ryman as BR, and then Einstein, my chicken scratch, is gonna be AE, right? So then the very, very, very first start of this whole thing is gonna be God, right? God, little fire Collatz, God again, Ryman, God, Einstein. You following with me? God is in each between of those because he has to be. Otherwise, it's not going to reproduce. It's not going to continue that prime stacking, right? God exists, so we're going to put him there. AE, God. And then now, this is where I come in. I'm going to extend God over this way because he gave me Nova. God, Nova. So then really this just repeats the whole thing again, right? AE, oh God, BR, God, LC, God. So that kind of just looks like the start of my windmill, right? My cell's already forming as well, we just can't see it. So now my windmill comes back around through this way, you know, vice versa. But how does this get me all the way to Collatz through here with Nova combined? Because she comes into play literally right through here. Whoops. There, now he looks pretty again. Oh well. So all of these in between here, where do I come into, right? So Albert Einstein, me, I am 110 years in between. Ryman, I'm 130 years in between. So now I decided to do those dates for Collatz, right? So let's do it down here. Collatz's numbers for numerology. He was born on July 6th, 1910, and he died September 26th, 1990. So right away, I'm like, July 6th? That's Nova's birthday, really. In that one whole day period, half of that first half of July 6th could be gone. That second half of July 6th, going to the first half of July 7th, is one whole day as well. And then the second half of July 7th, going into the second half of July 6th, going into the first half of July 7th, vice versa, and then another whole 7 and 7. So depending on what time, there's a whole 24 to 32 hour period where there's 3 cycles interchanging, no matter what. Then he died in September. So now I'm like, oh, September, so that's my dad. September's also Jason. So of course I have to continue that obsession with number 23 and go further into this, right? So now I know that Nova and Collatz are going to be really just one day, 2017 minus 1910. That's 106.9999, whichever, depending on the 3 cycles within that 32-hour period between July 6th to July 7th, right? But if I'm doing the day of, it is the day of. So I'm just going to make that 107. So now there is 107. So now I have 7, 13, 11. God is telling me I need to put it up more. So moving on. I'm gonna get a different color for this because I can. So now, the next part of this whole thing. So now I know that September and July. So September is gonna be Jason and my dad. So now, when I take the death of Collatz, so 09/26/1990 minus Jason's birthday of 09/13/77. So now that's 0, 13, 13. 13, 13, 13, 13. Jason loves 13, don't he? I told you guys that. So now that's 13, 13. So this equals back to now, well, 13 to 1 is equal 1 to 13, right? Which is also equal to 1 to 26 equals 62 to 1. Didn't I already break that down for you guys? Because I know I did. Now, another way that this fits into this, again, you guys, I've got so much notes, I'm sorry. It's taken me a little while to get it all situated. So with the difference between me and Jason, 09/13/1977 minus 06/19/1989. So this seems like it would be 3. This seems like it would be 6. Whoops. 3. This seems like it would be 6. And this seems like it would be 12. But when we're counting that one more, that's going to be 4, 7, and 13. 4, 7, 13, 11. 11 coming from the -1 and the -1 here, because we're plus or minusing 1. Whoops. 1 for God, Jehovah. So now, moving on from that, I've got 3 more other webs here that include Nova for my family, right? So I'm gonna get rid of this now, but you guys have seen that enough. Let's just remember that Nova's 107, this is 130, and that's 110. So now my dad and I, from 09/04 1962. 62. Is that not this, but the 19th, 20th century, really? Is it not? The year of. Also, 1962, Seattle World Fair. Also, when the Space Needle was created. Unveiled, whichever. We're gonna just hold space for that until our next couple of videos, okay? So now his minus me, this comes down to 4 months. Can you guys even see that? No. Oh. Okay, let's do 4 months. Is that better? Anyway, you guys can hear me. 4 months, 15 days, and 27 years. So 27 years minus God is that 26. Once again, 26 to this, right? So 26 years to 27, depending on that 3 cycle in between the 24 hours, right? My dad was when I was born. On my maternal side, my biological mom, she's born in 1970, and there's 19 to 20 years in between us. I say that because I know that she was 19 when I was born, her birthday is January 20th and mine is June 19th. So she is 19 and a half, 19.5 when I'm born, pretty much. So now we are going to just round that to the 20 because God's going to be in there either way to add that extra 0.5. So let's just round up because time is time. It's always going no matter what. So 20 now here plus the 27 from both sides. So now I'm at 47 years plus 5 because I'm in between 2. So that's 2.5 plus 2.5 is 5 for God. So 47 plus 5 is 52. There's that 52 for the whole year cycle. There's 52 cycles of 7. 7. You need 7 to reproduce. You need 13 to reproduce it right back around. You need a total of 13 steps. So, yeah. It just keeps going. I mean, I could still break this down between my siblings. I could still break it down between Nova and her grandparents, but I'm not going to. I've showed you guys enough. This is where this comes into play. And the next thing that I really want to touch in on is coming back to the whole windmill and this whole twin flame aspect. Now, twin flames, I don't even know where to start. I never ever knew that I was in a twin flame relationship until last summer. Last summer, this was really when my spiritual journey started, but I succumbed right before Easter. I fought it for so long, and including that, I fought that twin flame relationship. And during the day of Easter, it had been 4 years completely, a whole one, from when I had met my twin flame. 4 years from when I had met him to the day. 4 years of when I walked away. Also on a 444 portal, because it was the 4th day of the 4th month and Easter. We'll talk more about portals, but I promise you, you're gonna want to know what it is. But through all of my guidance, through all of my spiritual journey, and having this close relationship with Jehovah and being able to see what he's shown me, I've learned so much about twin flame relationships. So it is a soul connection through divine timing. Soul purpose is about love and evolution, transformation, spiritual growth, and spiritual guidance, not just for myself, not just for my twin flame, but for each of us separate towards outwards, each of us separately together outwards, for those of us that have known us in the past. We would have lots of comments about balance and yin and yang, and just because it seemed perfect to everybody else and what everybody else was trying to go for doesn't mean that it was going to work. Spiritual guidance, it's just ascension. Really, it's ascension to bring you closer to that spiritual realm, to bring you closer to God. And when God chooses you for a twin flame relationship, you have a duty. You will suffer if you do not. And that has been made very clear to me. Twin flames, they balance each other out, but they also repel from each other, just like those magnets that I talked to you about, just like that depolarizing polarity. They repel from each other. They are constantly runners. They are runners. They're chasers. They're running and chasing each other, taking those turns, trying to get this to work, and it's just not going to. They do this separately. They do this together. They do it towards each other. They do it towards their family, their friends, but most of all, guidance. Guidance is most important. I wouldn't be here without God showing me all of these, showing me that I have a true purpose, not just on the 3D, but in the 5D through the other realms as well. Whether my twin flame and I work out or not, I still have a duty on my own because I was chosen. You know, I've always known that I was meant for something bigger than to just stress out about bills I can't pay and then die. Twin flames, they're overbearingly passionate, but simply will not and mostly do not work out. We must have the inner union in ourselves before we can have outer union with our twin flame. And whether that's communication, that could be union, or it's physical communication after separation. Union could be commitment fully, and that's also spiritually or physically in the 3D. But the biggest part of that commitment in all aspects is sacred union. You know, marriage, permanent, absolute 100% balance, because each twin has fulfilled their responsibility to God and healed to spread love throughout the earth. Twin flames, they push you to be a better example of love for the spiritual realms and 3D. This has been successful for me through my inner union. I would never have gotten this far if I didn't really take my goggles off and realize just how far gone I had been gone. You know, twin flames, they can help the earth in divine timing. They can help all realms, they can help each other, they can help humans. But only if it's balanced and reciprocated, right? Otherwise that energy will not resonate. And that's why they repel. But they know, they just have this know of, you know, I know that there's this soul connection, but I'm not going to continue repelling. I'm not. You know, it's more of a spiritual journey, because statistically, twin flames, they never work out. Even years down the road when they get union, 20 years, 30 years, do they ever really last? You know, they're meant to transform you through healing. They're meant to heal, to break the cycles, to not continue the self-destruction. You know, even though I've let go, I will always be reflecting him. And I can show you that in just a minute. My twin flame, he'll always be a part of me, even if he chooses to not follow God and chooses to follow the devil energy that he so has decided to take. He's a little too far gone in addiction and parental abuse as well, and narcissism, really. And that's just not what I want to be, and that's not what God has chosen me for. And that's all comes down to, whether you think you have a twin flame or not, if you need help, I'm here for you. But what it all comes down to is that we have free will. We have free will to follow God's call, to obey, or we have free will to just be all stuck up inside ourselves when really you do not have the power at all. My spiritual journey allowed me to break the cycle between me and my twin flame. Even though it's still there, I broke it negatively. It allowed me to find the higher timeline for myself, which was Jason. It allowed me to truly believe that twin flames are a great example of yin and yang and true balance, even when one is positive and even when one is negative and will always be negative. But if I am a twin flame practicing God, believing in God, keeping myself worthy of being earned of eternal life, I need a whole balance of 4, obviously, right? Not just 2. And that's where a lot of twin flames don't understand. And if they cannot spiritually awaken, that they're never going to go anywhere with that either. So if you feel as if you are stuck in a twin flame relationship, if you have running and chasing and narcissism and gaslighting and manipulation, addiction, whether it's there or not, I'm here for you. I'm here for you because you are more important than them. And I love you. God loves you. Jehovah loves you. God chose you for this twin flame relationship, but he really chose you. The only two words that you should be hearing in that sentence alone, any of you, regardless of twin flame or not, he chose you. He chose you. You know, this is all I know so far of twin flame and what I'm about to show you. Why twin flames are the way that they are. And God has only shown me so much in this spiritual world about it before my eyes eternally know. But when true eternal life comes and my eyes are opened, then I will have the true confirmation of what my twin flame relationship was about. You know, hopefully. But the big part about this that I want to show you as to why it was such an issue, why it was so many towers for me, and why, if you are stuck in a twin flame relationship that you have multiple years in and multiple time, and you just know that it's not going to work, or you're trying to fight the fact that it's not going to work, I can show you, and I will show you why it don't work. So let me erase this and let's get started. I hear that there's big hot weather coming up this weekend, you guys, so please be safe. Please keep yourselves hydrated, wear your sunscreen, keep yourselves out of the heat unless you're going to be in water. Just take care of yourselves, please. It's going to be hot. So I've been mentioning about this birth chart that I've done, and we're going to get to that. So I guess we'll just do it this way. We're going to just draw a big circle. Put there in the middle. What I'm going to do, separate it into fours, because I've clearly shown that there's 4, right? And then each of these are going to have a 3. The 3 and the 1 to make the 4, the 4 and the 1 to make the 5, so on and so forth. Forgive me because I'm not using a ruler. So now this is going to break here, break here, break here, break here. So I'm going to get some different colors going. I'm going to be purple. So, oh, actually, I lied. What I should do first. This is Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Sagittarius, right? Oh, shoot. Sorry, Scorps. I didn't forget you. I'm sorry. Scorpios, Sag. Whoa. You need a little bit more room than that. It's Capricorn, but I say Capricorn because this is my twin flame right here. He was capping a corn in my ass, weren't ya? So, Cap, Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, and Taurus. So, now, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to go back to that purple now because I was born right here, right in this cups of magic, cusp of magic between Gemini and Cancer. So that automatically puts me right there, at a perfect, 45, 50 degree angle. This is my perfect match, is whoever this is, because we would balance and reflect each other perfectly, is whatever Virgo. Now this goes for a couple, because there's automatic other signs in these ones over here that will be mutable, cardinal, and fixed, and I'll get to that in a second. So Virgo is not only my perfect match that I could also be compatible with because I'm a mutable sign, but Virgo is the direct center, this one, of a perfect match for a Gemini. Perfect match down to the day, I've already proven to you. So now let's get Jason, and we will make him, let's do red. He likes red. So now, going that way, Jason is going to be here and then reflect up this way. So this also works because Gemini will also get along with Sag and the qualities there, but he embraces those too. So now I've got best of both worlds, right? So we'll use green for my twin flame, and he is born here. Which God is telling me reflects down here. So we are all, you know, we all have 4 lines, really we do. My twin flame I'm trying to figure this out because I didn't practice it this way. And God's in my head right now, y'all. I know that this line is supposed to be here because this is the positive reflection of who he is now. My positive reflection is Virgo. Positive reflection of Virgo is Sag. But these reflect back off of each other, right? That energy and the light. So Virgo is also perfect match to Gemini, which vice versa. It's got to reflect and balance, right? So now, with one of my twin flames lines, it hits down here to this Leo, even though God had me draw this out for some reason, which I've been fighting Scorpio energy since last November, you guys, so I think we're gonna have to come back to that because God's telling me to wait. This is homework for later. But like I said, I'm still into this brand spanking new, you guys. So anyway, I know that he's told me Leo. This also works. I also called him my lion, right? So now I'm gonna make these a bit bigger because this is exactly what they would be like. So now think, just how much of a barrier is really here, you know, kind of just like the asteroid belts, so to speak. You know, sometimes things can't get through them all the way. Things get stuck. So now I know that I am a mutable sign. So let's make this mutable. Okay, so we're filling that in there. I'm also gonna make Virgo mutable because that's who he is, that's what we are, and we reflect that way. So now we are going to reflect back in throughout this all right here. I'm going to be reflecting out this way. So we could have perfect resignation if my lion wasn't there, right? That big green Power Ranger just sitting right there. So now, I gotta sit just for you guys. What do you think's gonna happen? This is all reflecting back to me, and that's all reflecting towards Jason, even though I don't want it to, but it is. All of this unnecessary reflection, you know, makes me suffer and had made me suffer for 4 years. Now, in that little amount of time that's here, I have made Jason suffer. I made Jason suffer at the beginning of all of this. You know, I wouldn't be with him. I needed to figure out my twin flame. That negative 23 aspect had me so wrapped up negatively. I was so just completely obsessed before Easter. Easter, I decided to send my twin flame an email because we're in separation. And I'm just was ready to close and move on and be done. The night before Easter is when I sent it. And then Easter is when all of this started for me. And it was like, I let go. I let God take over at the perfect divine timing, didn't I? Easter of all things is when all of this started for me, when I started ascending, when clues were coming to me like none other, when I started hearing God, when I started this whole spiritual enlightenment to be able to help you. Really, that's when all of this started. I made that right choice, and I clearly made that right choice. I did. Even though I had to figure it out. I had to make that right choice. You know, we have that free will. I could have been basking in the negativity of it, but what's going to happen to me in the spiritual world? When clearly it's been shown that on earth, Jason's the person for me, but spiritually, my twin flame is not finished yet, because my soul in this vessel has not left to be able to go to the spiritual world. It is up to the twin flame if he or she will decide who they want to be judged by, the devil or God. I can't judge him. He can't judge me. You know, it just doesn't balance. It never will, unless both twins want to do that work, unless it's all complete 100%. And I'm grateful for the ones that can do that, because I know what kind of love that they are spreading. But I rather spread the love with Jason for you guys, to you guys, the love that I have with Jason from God, with God, because that love is so much more beneficial for me, so it's so much more beneficial for you. My twin flame will always be there, just like my ego, just like his ego. He will always let his ego win. He doesn't have a choice. That's what's in the cards for him. He can be a cycle breaker if he wanted to, but he don't have what it takes. I did, and you do too. Hopefully, we'll see. He don't have what it takes until he realizes he has what it takes on the inside. And if you're at that point where you feel like you're so worthless, your mind has been tricked to make you think that. I have told him that for years, and he will never listen to me. Although I would still help him in any other one of my abusers, because that's what unconditional love is about. It's about showing God what you do. The last thing I want to show you guys is, part of this whole spiritual world too, it isn't just about cell structure, graph structure, it's about numbers as well, obviously, as to what I've shown. And the fact that Jason and I are both mutable signs, I know that that gives us 12 potential matches, up to 12, well, at least 12. We have a lot of happiness in the world. But with my twin flame and where he sits at, he only has, I believe it was, 4. He only has 4. 4 perfect matches out of 12. Because I embrace all of those qualities, plus of the time, divine timing that I was born. Now, for a twin flame to bring that cycle to an end and be able to reflect the rest of these, it would bring a whole nother story, a whole nother ballpark, a whole nother divine plan, but he doesn't. And that's why I ain't putting up with his crap anymore. But I was supposed to, for a reason. I was supposed to. So thank you, God. If I never left my twin flame, if I never left my mom, my sister, I would not be here to help you. And that's not what I want. So I'm feeling very grateful right now. So the next thing that I want to show you guys is how to really know who your perfect match is through numbers. And sure, you could Google who's the best match for, Gemini or whichever, but then you're letting someone else tell you. And whatever they tell you, you might just believe. So I'm going to show you how to do that math. I'm going to show you. I want to show you all of this so you are able to do it for yourself, for you are able to understand it for yourself, and not take anybody else's crap to help trick your own mind. Okay? Wow. So we are going to go back to that number 52, right? 52 cycles of 7 for 52 weeks in a year. So to find through numerology and through the zodiac, all of this is based off of the cardiological solar value, and that's pretty much the number system that's based down through zodiac degree. And so we're going to start with 52, and we're going to add that 3, right, for God. So we're at that 55. 55 is always God. Remember that 455 math I did? This is where it comes into play. 4 and then the 55. So you're going to start off from 55 when you are trying to figure out this perfect match or this, balance. So what you're going to do is oh shoot, he wants me to tell you something different right now. Oh, okay. So 55, 2 cycles, back to back of 24 hours in the day. That makes sense. Plus the 3 and the 3, so it was 52. Yeah. Okay. So 24 hours, 2 cycles, 12 and 12 really, right? 12 and 12. So 24 hours in the day, but I still have that extra to make up, right? 12 and 12, 2 cycles of 24. But this doesn't seem right to me now that I've done this math. We're always adding that 1 now, or taking away, depending on which side of the spectrum we're working with the math and the science, if we're going positive or if we're going negative. So now, let's take this back the other way. We're going to start with that 55 because we need God there to work, right? Minus the 3 equals 52. So 52, if we're going to go back to the 2 cycles, divided by 2 is 26. 2 sides. 1 day, 1 night. 26 hours in the day. It would have to be 26. Yep, because that still is a 12 plus 1 is 13 for each side to balance the spectrum. 13 and 13 is 26. So that tells me 13 is equal to 31. 26 or 126 is equal to 62 1. 13 times 2 is 26. 31 times 2 is 62. I mean, it's just cycling again, isn't it? So to get the perfect match from out of all of that, after it is now 13 and 26 hours in the day, what you have to do is you are going to take the day, or excuse me, the month that you were born. So I'm going to do 06. So if I'm dividing, really multiplying by 2, that's 12. 12, 12, 12. So I have 12 now, and then I'm adding my birthday day from the month to the day. So 12 plus 19 equals 27. This was also the age of my dad when I was born. So we are going to take this from the total of 55 of your cardiovascular solar value minus the 27, and this is now 28. So my card was 28. My card, my number, whatever, 28. So when I play with these Cardamancy cards, and I do this, which will be a further future video, I know that this is equal to the 2 of diamonds. So when I go to, okay, I know that Jason has been my match from what God's told me, what God has shown me, what I just showed you. So now we're going to do his, and his is 09 divided, or excuse me, multiplied by 2, and that's 18. Oh. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I always get 8 and 8 to 16 confused with 9 to 9 to 18, and I'm still doing it now, so I'm sorry. 18. And then we are going to add his birthday, which is the 13th, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh. 31. 31, which is now opposite 13, and once again coming back full circle for my honey bear. So now we're going to take 55 minus the 31, and this is 24. 24 is equal to the Jack of clubs. So now, when I draw this, if you guys can, yeah, we're going to do Jack of clubs. Forgive me, you guys know I'm not a good drawer. I can't even do goldfish. Is now equal to the 2 of diamonds, right? Well, me in numbers and reflecting that energy. 2 of diamonds is now equal to the Jack of clubs. perfect match. 28 plus 24, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 52. I mean, how lucky am I? How lucky am I that this Jack of Clubs here waited. He waited for me. He fought for me. He fought for me when no one else was showing up to fight for me, even though I told myself that he was going to, and he never did. But he did. And look at why. You know? But now, I also know that my twin flame and I have a divine spiritual connection. I also know that from my twin flames number, card, whichever, his is a 6 of spades. So 6 of spades can reflect 2 of diamonds. It can. But what I need to figure out is his actual day. So 16 plus the 8 is 24. Really? This is the first time I'm doing this, you guys, because I run a show 5505 555. Wow. 555 is also a portal, but it also signifies change. And I had to figure that out in my whole spiritual journey of ascension, and that's coming soon. But 555. As soon as I'm figuring out that, oh crap, this is the same as Jason. I mean, to an extent, but it's starting to really, starting to kind of, you know, give me the weird resonation of energy. So let's do a 55 minus 24. Oh my gosh. So wait, so Jason plus 13 plus 3, plus 3, negative 3. Oh wow. Plus 10, negative 10. This is 24. 55 minus 24, of course, is the 31. So now I've got 24 to 31 as to 31 to 24. You see how confusing this is? How emotional this is? I could choose either direction, but I already know one more time what the right one is. This is an even. It's closed connection. Open. There's so much room for growth there. So much room for growth. Room for reproduction. Wow. I cannot believe that. 31 to 31 to 24 to 24. The Jack of Clubs is a 10, right? 6 of spades, Jack of clubs, 6 of spades. If that were to divide, this would have to be 4.25. Yeah. The spade would go into a, spade's gonna go into the club, or the leaf is gonna go into the tree, really. 4 times total to get that extra reproduction of that leaf. But this is closer to the negative aspect and much smaller. The Jack of Tens is, it's also ascending. It's closer to the end of that spiritual journey that you want. You know, you don't want to be at a 6, you want to be at a Jack, you want to be at a King. You can start all over. There's so many different clues here to showing me that Jason is the one. But in the spiritual realm, we have a soulmate in the spiritual realm, and we have a soulmate on earth. Very rarely will they be both. You know, it's on earth, it's just so grounded. It's your real thing, it's your day-to-day commitment. Spiritually though, it's always there. It always follows you. It's just the choice of doing the right thing and staying true, keeping your commandments in your relationship. All of that. You know, being 3D versus 5D, which is, you know, twin flame. Twin flame. This is going to be earthly, spiritual. Spiritual, right, already tells me it's emotional, for sure. It's emotional. It's transforming through healing. It breaks the mold if you're a cycle breaker or not. Not, you're done. You're choosing to not. But when all you can go is up, it's so beautiful. Strength. He consumed all the same qualities that my toxic abusers, besides anything physical, he never went that far. This is why I resonated with this, because I was refusing to heal later. All of the negativity in me was resonating with this, to give me all of this heartbreak, to give me all this turmoil, to give me all these feelings that my soulmate in the 3D does not give me. You know, he makes me feel so grounded and supported through that foundation, right? We're compatible and adaptable. We reflect positively. When my twin flame and I reflect negatively. Twin flame and any healing, honestly, any healing, is all about balance. You know, I have love for both, and I will always have love for both. But for what God wants me to do. It's insane what you can find, you know. So let's move on really quick, because after all of that, I really needed to get down to the bottom of the spiritual world even more, which is really why we're here. I've already debunked the creation, the math, and the science, and now I just need to debunk the spiritual world for you.